It might be sunny outside, but ladies and gentlemen, it is snowing in May. I repeat, it is fucking snowing in May, Chris. Woo!
Oh, yes.
It's back, baby.
It sure is.
Oh, my name is Dan Murphy. This is Geek of Thrones, God is a Geek's weekly podcast talking all things Game of Thrones. And by God, are we going to be talking today? Joining me is Mr. Chris White. And fucking hell, Chris, this is the episode, season 6, episode 2, Home.
Oh, my God almighty. Name. How, I was not expecting this to happen this quickly.
I think you needed to do it quickly to not dwell on it, but I don't know. I just didn't. This episode is at everything. I thought this was the. What do you think of this episode, Chris? Before we just combust.
I think it was a very good episode. It had a lot of it had some rush bits, I thought, but on the whole, it was excellent.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll go through all of it, but yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. I think it's I think it makes sense being the second one.
Yeah.
I think the first one was good. It set the tone. Now it's properly getting into it now. It feels like it's really on a roll.
To me, this episode felt like it should have been the premiere. Like, episode 1 felt like it should have been the end to episode season 5, or like...
Yeah.
It felt like a prologue to season 6, or like... It felt like a season 5.5, like an episode in between special thing. It was like a nice deep breath before getting... And I do think they could have mixed a few scenes about, changed, and could have chopped a few things to make it flow a little better. But I said last week, my enjoyment of episode 1 very much depends on what happens in this episode.
Yeah.
And they've succeeded massively.
Yeah.
It was... I think there's only one... To me, there was only one thing they rushed, and I think it's an understandable why they rushed it, and rushing it doesn't really matter, but we'll get to that in time. I thought, yeah, incredible episode, proper. This is what Game of Thrones is like. This is like approaching season 4 levels of good. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into it.
Yeah, do it.
Because I'm sure we're all excited, and God knows how long this episode will go on for. Scene 1. Bran is in the tree roots. He has a vision of Winterfell in ye olde times when it is populated and bustful and seems to have had a nice harvest. Everyone's working. It's buzzing with life. And Ned and Benjen Stark are sparring in the yard with I believe their older brother Brandon Stark watching over them. It's never mentioned, but one can assume. And then the last of the Stark children, Lyanna, remember their face, remember the name, comes in on a horse around them, and then we're introduced to Willis, also known as Hodor.
I know. And he's talking and everything.
He sounds really well articulated as well. He sounds like, obviously he's a stable hand or whatever, so he's obviously not highborn, but he seems like he's been around these people. He's obviously Nan, the old Nan, who we also saw, we last saw in like season 2 or whatever, reading stories to Bran.
Yeah.
Or maybe season 1 even. Obviously she told stories, so she was obviously well worded, well spoken, and you can see the same with Willis, because we always knew that they were the son. Interesting little tidbit. I don't know if you heard the news about they're apparently making a TV show of the Game of Thrones spin-off novel, Dunk and Egg.
Oh, are they?
Well, yeah. Have you ever read that at all? Or know what it is?
No.
Basically, Dunk. You remember when Maester Aemon died last year, and he talked about Egg?
Yeah.
Egg's his brother, and Egg basically left his family or whatever to go and squire for this knight called Dunk, who was just a hedge knight, poor as anything. Mum was a whore or whatever, and ended up being a Kingsguard. Sir Duncan the Tall. Jim mentioned him, and they're gonna do a series on him. But the point is, there's rumours and theories that Hodor might be a descendant of him in some way.
Wow.
But I don't know, because Giant's blood, because Dunk was massive. But don't know how realistic that is. But anyway, this scene. The line I noticed was, "My father never talks about her, about Lyanna," and you obviously recognise her straight away. And I think we'll talk about it more when we talk about what's on next episode. But I think Lyanna's going to play a big part.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think happened to Hodor? Why can he no longer speak?
Oh God.
Do you think it's going to be massively? Do you think it's going to be important, or do you think it's just going to be?
I think it has to be.
Okay.
I think it has to be somewhat important. Whether it's whether he witnesses something really traumatic, or something really traumatic happens to his family, I don't know. But I think it won't play any significance into the main story. But I think it'll be quite an important, event in his life that caused that.
Am I being mad, or when Bran comes out of that vision and talks to Hodor, are Hodor's more significant?
Yeah.
Are they more nuanced? Or is that
I
more
thought
sad?
that. I think it was part sad, part happy, kind of.
The
Like
meaningful.
he can't tell anybody that was how he used to be. So no one's ever going to know he's had this life before.
But he understands what everyone's saying to him. Yeah.
And I think it's kind of, it's quite sentimental, and it means a lot to him that someone else knows. Do you know what I mean? But it's also kind of showing him that this Bran can go back in time and see things, and it'd be quite integral to the story. But yeah, I think it was definitely quite nice tone to him.
There's an interesting theory going around that now we know Hodor could speak, and he's not. There's obviously something wrong with him, but when we say wrong with him, it's like a traumatic. Obviously traumatic, or he's taken something to the head. I think there is a scar on the actor's head who plays Hodor, but he has tattoos there in real life, so maybe whatever. So maybe they've like hurt the part of his brain that does the speak. But apart from speech, everything else about Hodor seems like intact and functional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which means Bran took over Hodor, which means Bran took over like a near fully functioning person. Everyone thought he could go into Hodor because he's not got full grasp of his mind, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Does that mean Bran's more powerful than he thinks he is? Like, he didn't know that he thought he could get into Hodor because he thinks Hodor is simple, inverted commas, whatever. But then he did it anyway, even though he's not. So is Bran more powerful than he thinks he is at this point?
I think he's much more powerful than he thinks he is.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I don't know how much we're going to see in the coming episodes, because this whole scene was very, very rushed, and there was no real time given to him.
Right. Do you think this one of the rushed ones you'd have a problem with?
I don't have a massive problem with it, but I just feel that I want to see much more of this storyline, and it's only because I'm just impatient and I want to see it all happen. And I know they've got a lot to fit in, but I was just really into it. I was really enjoying it, and I liked how it was going.
I feel like this scene could have been in episode 1.
Yeah.
But I
easily.
feel like they wanted to start an episode with it, and they obviously had to start with Jon last episode. So I feel like that's the issue. But I think they could easily have started the episode. I really think this scene could have been in the last episode. Then we could have had a little bit more now, because that scene was 3-4 minutes. It was really good, but as you say, it's only the first teaser. We're going to get like next week. I believe it feels like the episode's going to end with another Bran vision, the big one. Yes, I feel like we'll have a lot more time with him there.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think Big Max wants to do? I liked him. Strange.
Yeah, he's something about him. Yeah, he's interesting.
Speaks well, doesn't he? Like the line is, if you spend too much time under the sea, you'll drown. Whatever. It was really quite good.
Yeah.
And Bran's obviously pissed off. Do you think there was some conflict of Bran this year will be him trying to not be drugged on the visions or whatever, even though that kind of happened in season 3 or whatever when he was in the Wolf and they were trying to make him not do it and stuff like
that? I don't think so. I think he understands his vision needs to happen. He's quite respectful of him, I think.
Yeah.
There'll be no falling out or anything like that. He's quite respectful of the three-eyed raven, and he understands because he's always kind of been part of his life.
Okay. Let me get a scene outside the cave. They've changed the whole layout of this cave, and they've changed the look of the children of the forest, or the child of the forest. Does that annoy you or put you off? Like, I know it's been a while since we've seen them, but I don't see why they need to do this. They change things so often, it just breaks continuity for me. Like, they changed the Eyrie, the look of the Eyrie completely. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I'll be honest. I couldn't remember too much, and then I watched back and noticed. But it's not a massive problem for me. But yeah, I don't see why they need to do that too much.
The children of the forest look a lot more CG than they did in the last episode, and I feel like that's a bit of a mistake. And I just don't see why they need to keep changing stuff. Like the cave never had a door when they went in last time.
Yeah.
I feel like they did it just for that shot of the light and stuff like that.
I think that. Yeah, I think it's just
unless it's the back of the cave, maybe. Who fucking knows at this point?
Yeah.
But the child of the forest, Mira is brooding. Mira's brooding outside. And she's feeling nothing. She's feeling frustrated and all that type of stuff. She's missing Jojen, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the child of the forest says he isn't staying here forever. Where's he going? Is he going north or south? You can't go much further north.
I don't know. I think
maybe something.
I don't know. I have no idea. I think I've just got this weird feeling it'll reunite with Jon and Sansa.
Okay.
But again, I don't think it's going to be this soon. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like what? He can't walk, so Hodor's going to carry him all again. But yeah. Also with the Hodor thing, it is nice that he's got a bit of layers to him now, and he isn't just literally a fucking vehicle. Like, both plot-wise and physically a vehicle. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have a kind of saw him as nothing more than someone who says like a catchphrase and everyone quotes it and all that, because he's been quite integral. He's saved Bran from quite a bit, and you know he does seem like a nice bloke, and it's just that little tiny bit has kind of brought, as you say, more layers to him, so it's good.
And we'll talk about Mira again later because I've heard another little theory on her, so we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Next scene, it's at the wall. The bows are aimed at the room, and they're knocking down the door. Davos, the wolf, and everyone are fighting, and as in beat with the door, then there's a knock at the gate, and it's like a nice Inception, like people taking a photo type thing, where they're banging on the door, but then someone else bangs on the door. The giant 1/1 smashes through, and the wildlings pour in. They show quite amazing restraint. They only attack the ones who attack. Tormund rips a guy's fucking spleen out, pretty much, like splits him in half. The rest, and then there's a bit of a standoff. Thorn wants them to fight. One of them, very smartly, decides to shoot a bolt at a giant, who then gets picked up, swatted against a wall, and then nonchalantly tossed in front of the others. Everyone else stands down, apart from Ollie, who charges like a little cunt he is, and easily gets apprehended. I wanted him to just cut his head off right there and then.
Oh, this is going to happen every episode. Like, every episode something's going to happen, and we're like, why ain't he fucking dead yet?
What's become of me when I'm literally willing children to be fucking beheaded?
I think you're justified in it, Dan. I think it's a little twat.
But then, you know, they're taken away. Like I said, were you surprised at how much restraint the wildlings did show in... A, how did they know where the dungeons were? That was a problem of mine. And B, of them just easily just taking the Night's Watch to the dungeons. Were you surprised that they didn't just kill them? Like, how can they trust them again?
Right. There's two sides to every story. So the Night's Watch have had this opinion of the wildlings ever since forever.
Right.
So they've always seen them as these beasts, these horrible
barbarians.
people, rape. Yeah, right. But we've never seen their side of it. To them, the Castle Black have been they haven't raped, but they have. Well, technically, you know, with Gilly, she was a wildling, and the Night's Watch were very, they were very afraid of them.
The guy at Craster's Keep was a rapist, wasn't he? Like, they get sent to the wall of the rapers and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. So there's nothing to say that they're not as bad. But I think they're very smart. They were led by what was his name? Raiden.
Mance Raider.
Mance Raider. He was a fine leader. You know, he's and Tormund's quite respectful of Jon. They're not animals. They're not wildlings in the sense what the Night's Watch think they are. I think they're quite.
So you think they're like showing like, if they had have killed them, they would have proved them right. So it's like, we're better than you type thing, and they're not conforming to the stereotype that they believe it to be.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So. Yeah, I think I wasn't expecting any less from him, to be honest.
Okay. There's a brilliant line from Tormund when Thorn's going, the wall has held the wilders for thousands of years or whatever, and he just goes until you, which must be a salt in the wounds for Thorn. But then apart from, there's not really much to talk about here. Like Ed comes in like an absolute hero. You won one,
Ed's
just
awesome.
batters someone beautifully.
When Alistair calls him a fucking traitor.
I know, yeah.
It's
You're
like
a fucking traitor.
The only traitor are those that stab the Lord Commander. It's like, yes, you fucking.
It's good. I like Ed a lot. He's new Lord Commander.
Possibly.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about those later. He said there's not really much to talk about. It's just that got resolved as everyone expected, but still satisfying. It's still amazing to see the giant do that. But
that was amazing. Yeah, and that's not the first head that gets smashed. There's just not much to
talk about, really. All's well. It's not. Nice symmetry, actually. There's quite a bit of symmetry in this episode of people doing things. And then we go to the next scene where a Cockney boy is talking about flashing in front of Cersei with his, with his serpent apparently. And he's getting laughs and drinks from the lads and rolled eyes from old men and serving girls. I actually watched through. I went back to the episode of. Watched Cersei's Walk of Shame. I didn't see him at all. Like two people. The one guy who proper goes in front and flashes, it's not him, he's older. There is another guy, but it didn't look like him at all, so yeah, I didn't see him. So maybe he was even lying, which wouldn't surprise me with this type of guy. He seems like a type of guy who'd lie for laughs or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he was just like hidden in the crowd or something. But anyway, he goes for a piss. Big Rob Strong on the mountain is behind him. He looks up, starts pissing on him, and then, as cool as you like, he just crushes him like a fucking grape.
Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just so easily. Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't even wipe the blood off his fucking armour.
No, and he's so powerful. Like, I know we've seen his power before, but now he's like a fucking Incredible Hulk. You know, with all that venom in him and all that. You know, he's gonna be fucking deadly.
Yeah, he's
But
just.
I just hate that whole scene. Just fucking hated it. He was just annoying me.
Hated it as in.
No, I think I see it why they did it, but I can't. That Cockney bloke was just annoying me.
He got his comeuppance quickly. Like, do you think the Mountain's just out and about, just killing anyone who besmirches his queen? Like, how do you think he finds out about that?
I think the guy was loud enough to cause that much of a ruckus himself. People overheard. You know, if he'd have kept quiet, I don't think Martin would have been bothered because he wouldn't have known. But if he was that stupid enough to make a song and dance about it, he deserved it.
Well, the next scene, Cersei's in a room, and there's quite a conspicuous shot of her like plucking at her sleeve, which I took it to me to be like she's unraveling, slowly, but she still seems quite composed. So she's unraveling, but then other people's pointed out on Reddit and stuff that apparently these are her morning gowns, aren't they? And she's had to wear them a lot recently, and they're getting worn and stuff like that. So so it's equal stuff. But I took it as like, it's like obviously saying, she's coming undone and stuff like that. She wants to go and leave to go to Marcella's funeral, but it's stopped by guards under Tommen's orders. See, I was kind of right in my prediction. I was saying that he'd stop her, but not as I thought, which we're going to. The soldiers are obviously shitting it from the mountain, but Cersei backs down. Were you expecting more fight from her? This is her daughter.
No, I think she's truly broken. We saw it in the last episode when she was talking to Jaime. She's absolutely broken, and you can see why from what the Sparrows have done to her. So I wasn't surprised. Okay. I was expecting a little bit more of a fight, but she's not the same Cersei as we're used to. Yeah. So I kind of get it.
So we'll talk about the scene with her and Tommen soon, but do you think that's going to be the thing that ignites her? Tommen apologising and stuff. Do you think that's going to be? We know she's going to get angry again, and we've seen the scene of I choose violence, so she's going to get back to rage mode. What's going to ignite it? Is it going to be this, or is it going to be something else?
I think it'll be this. I think this got to be answered really.
Okay. So. Well, next scene, we're in Baelor's set. We're at the funeral, which is a surprising low turnout for a princess, but we'll ignore that bit. Jaime and Tommen are standing over Marcella's body. Tommen thinks Cersei killed Chastain. Why do you think that is? Just because, or what? Why do you think she's holding his mother to account?
I don't know. He's just confused and angry. He doesn't know what he's thinking. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's just.
He seems very guilty. And he's like lashing out, kind of. Or
yeah, I think so.
Conflicted.
I think he realizes that he's not the leader his mother wants him to be. Yeah. It's been bestowed upon him with him not wanting it. He's not Joffrey. Yeah. If he was Joffrey, then the Sparrows would fucking out. They wouldn't even show in the face. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of making you long for Joffrey because that would have been fucking kabushed.
I would love to have seen Joffrey in this kind of setting, but that's the exact reason why it is happening, because he isn't there, and the Sparrows are clever, and they know that this king wouldn't dream of doing anything bad because they know he's innocent.
It's kind of hard, which is a shame because they're taking advantage of a kind king, and they wonder why they don't get him.
Yeah.
But all that. Tommen then admits that he doesn't let Cersei come to the funeral to protect her. I think that's the inclination. He doesn't want him to be stolen again, which was wrong to what I said. I thought he was pissed off at her still, which he kind of still is. But it's like there's a lot of emotions going around this poor lad's head. He's very conflicted. And then Jaime's trying to be the father he can't be, which is obviously tearing him up as well. And then Tom he's getting ripped apart by it, isn't he? And then Jaime gives him the advice to go and see his mother.
Yeah.
Which he goes and duly does. Then the High Sparrow walks in. They have a long chat about stuff. Jaime confesses all of his sins. Which
that was fucking cool though. When he was like, "What about my sins? What atonement do I deserve?" And then he lists them all, and they're like, it's as if they're. I'm not saying they're preying on women by any means, because they've done the same to men as well. But
Loris,
Jaime he's a dangerous man, and they know. They're not stupid. But I did love that scene.
Do you feel like they could have taken him though? There's a lot of them there, and he's only left-handed. We leave this scene with the High Sparrow walking out, and we know from trailers and stuff that he is he's fighting outside the Sept and stuff with the army. But do you think there is a chance that they try and take him? But no, I don't know. I don't think there is. It just looks like they could do.
I think the only next step, which we'll talk about shortly, because the next scene's going to be pivotal into what happens to the Sparrows, the High Sparrow, and so forth. So, yeah, I'll talk more about it when we talk about this next scene. Actually,
we have a long chat.
There's something Tommen says. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, he does. Jamie wants to end him quite clearly. He wants to split him in half, and the Sparrow goads him. Like, he's hard to place, High Sparrow, because I hate him, but then I agree with him at the same time at points. And like my political nature should align with him, but he's just such a cunt about it, and he always wears that sly fucking grimace that burns my blood, and he's just so he's goading him into it, saying he deserves it, but then all the faith militant surround him. Then and then he says he wants to overthrow an empire, which is a great line, but like, isn't that like not what he's meant to be doing? He's meant to just be helping people. Now he just wants to, what does the High Sparrow actually want?
Has he had a taste of power?
Does he want Does he want the power? Does he want people? Like, is he just using people under the vase, like under the veil of?
Possibly, I think he's kind of he's become a product of what he's preaching about, and he's blurred the lines now. Obviously, it's about atoning for people's sins and asking for forgiveness and realizing that about it's the good in people, and that's what's supposed to be there. But actually, he's becoming something that he's always preached against. So I think he's just, his lines are blurred. He's had a taste of power, and it's corrupting him.
Yeah, Jamie with both his hands kills all of them, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and it's so annoying that he's not got it anymore. Because like, do you think they should put like a fucking blade in his hand, like instead of his hand, like have it as like a hammer or a hook or something? Like, he even says a hook would be more practical. Why don't they just have him have a fucking knife in his hand?
I don't know, because I think
it's not very diplomatic walking about the castle.
Yeah,
with it, like.
I think that's why. Maybe he's come accustomed to his golden hand. Maybe he just likes it.
Or why don't they put a weapon in it? Because it's like in like a holding, position.
Maybe
I feel like he could use it to better effect.
Maybe he finds it more dignified using a sword. I don't know.
I hope maybe all in a minute. I hope when they go into battle and stuff, if that happens, he uses it to better effect, because he's pretty hopeless with the sword.
God, yeah.
But yeah, that was a great scene. I thought like that set is beautiful, and Jonathan Pryce was amazing in it. He's so good character. Anyway, Tommen goes to see Cersei. He apologises profusely, like 3 times. Cersei eventually forgives him, turns around and then he begs her to help him to be strong. She agrees. It's a sweet scene, but surely this leads to the Faith's fucking demise.
Exactly. So he says, you raised me to be strong and I wasn't, but I want to be, so help me. She hugs him. She knows that he's come to his senses. He's starting to become the king he needs to be, and that's it now. I think he'll put in place this assault on the Sparrows. They'll take back King's Landing. I think that's where it's going for me.
And then they're going to get fucked by a Dornish army coming up the rise.
Well, they're there, aren't they? The two of the Sand Snakes.
They're still sliding about, God knows where.
So, yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe they play a part in the fight. Maybe they come in at the end, and I don't know. I'd hopefully they don't come in and, maybe take out Jaime Lannister or kill Cersei or kill someone. I know. But that's kind of we're doing the death predictions. I said it might be Cersei, and that might be a way for it to happen.
Yeah. And may I say, on those death predictions, fucking called it on some.
Oh yeah.
Fucking called it.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet scene. It's not. I think the developments in King's Landing, like I said, they're not as interesting yet, but they're getting there. I think soon. I don't know when we'll get the crushing of the Faith. I imagine episode 4 or 5, but it needs to happen soon.
Yeah.
They just need to be wiped from the earth.
Yeah.
Anyway. Unless you've got anything else to say, we can fly over to Marine.
No, please let's.
Let's indeed, right. The establishment are in the pyramid. Tyrion makes another cock joke, and he's grating on you.
No,
I did not. This
it's amazing.
I thought if Varys was giving it back, and I know he touched him drinking, but that seems like more out of like you shouldn't be doing that. Like you do that to your mum when she's smoking.
I like his.
I think this is like, it seems unprovoked, and he goes, "Oh, you're thinking him though." But I feel like Tyrion's better than that, and he doesn't. It's not banter though. It's just like outright calling him. And then I think they pull attention to it when because Grey Worm's there and stuff, and they explain it away as banter, but to me, it's a little bit jarring at the minute. So at least they're hitting for you, yeah.
Well, I think I just find it was kind of out of the blue. I just find it really funny, and I'm not fed up of them. I think I do see what you're saying though about it kind of being out of the blue, and it isn't necessarily banter, but I don't know. I just quite find I like the fact that he said it.
I feel like Varys just isn't being as like sly as he was like in like season 2 when he was like throwing digs all over the place. I just don't feel he's doing it as much anymore, which maybe he's not got like the like him and Littlefinger was like the battle of the minds, and those two need to come into collision again because don't know if they ever will, but they were just the best playing off each other.
Yeah, they were excellent together.
Let's have a look. So they haven't found who's burned the ships. Astapor and Yunkai are now under master control again, so Dany has fucking achieved nothing practically. Then we get the good drinking on all things line, and then they discuss dragons. How drunk is Tyrion when he makes his decision to go down to the dragons?
We've seen him a lot drunker than that.
Do you think he was slightly merry to make a decision like this?
No, I think he was of a sound mind. I think it was quite a nice little scene as well. He's obviously got clarity up there because he's reminiscing about when he asked for a dragon when he was younger. I thought that was really nice, and that whole scene was just excellent.
It was beautiful.
And, he's preaching before he goes down there about how dragons are intelligent. They know who their friends are. And then when he's talking to the dragons, and then he takes the thing off one of the dragons' necks, and then he turns to the other.
When that one's looking at him, fuck me. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's like I don't know what Disney film has something like that. It might be How to Train Your Dragon when he's looking at him like that, and it's just like fucking hell. I could smell his shit in his pants from over.
Oh, he was brave or stupid. It was one or the other.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he goes down to the dragons. He does that scene as you described. It's magical, like the way they've done these dragons, man. Just how their eyes flicker and then the smouldering fire at the back of their throats. It's fucking amazing. Why don't they kill him then? Because I love the line of friends with your mother. It's like you've met someone at a pub or something who like used to know you that babysit you when you were little.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know. Right. So two questions. Why do they not kill him? And then, how intelligent are these dragons? Because they apparently understand English, or at least enough, or the old tongue, whatever, when they should only speak Valyrian, technically. That's what Dany speaks to them, if you get me drift. And then, and then, like, how intelligent are they? Like, can they read minds? Like, that's what dragons can do in other lore and stuff. Like, how magical, how intelligent actually are they? And, like, why don't they kill him, in your opinion?
Okay. So I don't want to get too far into this, what I'm about to say, but there has been a theory about the who
the
is
three-headed
Targaryen. Dragon. Well, the fact that Jon is a Targaryen.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently, yeah, exactly. And Daenerys is obviously.
Yeah.
There's been the rumours about Tyrion also.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
So, they may sense that. They may know. They might. There's some way of being aware of it, so that might kind of unveil itself much further down the line, and that's why we kind of understand why they never did anything.
So do you think, does that give credence to that theory, you think, then?
Possibly. I think it certainly adds to it. But then again, it might be completely unrelated. It might not have anything to do with like being a Targaryen, and they're just clever. They know by his tone and the way he presents himself. The way he shows respect by putting the flame down. He doesn't look menacing. He doesn't look threatening. He's like, he's not very tall, so maybe I'm not that threatened by him.
He's not attacking, is he?
No,
he cowers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think that's how they are intelligent. If that theory doesn't relate to it.
So these dragons have been on chain now, but they're still downstairs. They're still under the floor. When do you think these come into play, and how?
I don't know. I think it'll be something to do with Daenerys, the Drogon. I don't know, because I don't know really how they communicate with each other. So there's always a chance that
isn't it?
Something happens to Daenerys. Drogon's out there. Maybe he kind of shrieks. Makes a huge racket. They hear. I don't know. I think they're staying there because obviously they're in mourning for Daenerys leaving. I think that's part of why they don't want to go anywhere. They don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, but now they've got like maybe a leadership in Tyrion or so. Anyway, the scene ends with telling him to punch him in the face, which is a nice little funny line.
Yeah.
And then this is a scene that I did think was rushed, but maybe necessarily so, because we got to Bravos. Ari gets the shit beaten out of her again, and may I say, called it. Jaqen catches the staff, and then he asks her what her name is, tempts her with shelter, food, and vision. She continues to say no name, and then boom, she's passed the test and she's back in the temple. Now, this seemed like counterintuitive to me. Like, surely if this is what he's doing, then surely if she keeps saying no one, the point is to then leave her outside that night, because she's learning to be no one, and then you come back tomorrow and say, right, you've passed the test, now come in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The whole thing to me is just a bit. I'm struggling to enjoy where it's going, because it seems like, as you say, it doesn't seem right. It seems like they're kind of not contradicting the whole thing a bit. I don't know. It's just a bit weird, and I'm not really. You add the bit with Jaqen at the end. It's exactly the same scene as in the first episode, and I'm not grabbed by it at the moment.
See, that's why I don't mind that they've taken her back into the temple so soon, because we don't want 3 episodes of Aries getting beaten with a stick. No one wants that. But I just feel like how they worded that like test, it should have been, she should have had to spend another night, because she denied the temptation, which is good. She kept saying she was no one when she was offered the sinful sweets or whatever. So then she should have said, to learn. Do you know what I mean? She did it, but she had to then persevere to fully understand it, and then you take her in. Which I know, I say they keep rushing it, but like I think they could have easily cut away the scene later, right? When like make it clear it's a morning and just go to her sleep and say a girl's not a beggar anymore, and that's enough.
That's possible, but I mean, we don't know how long this has been going on for as well.
Yeah, there is that.
She looks rough as shit.
She does.
Like, maybe she's been out there for a long time as it is.
I feel like the question. I just feel like how they worded that question. I feel like she should have had to spend another night and then she gets in. Just how they worded it.
True.
It's fine. Like I said, as long as they're moving it, which they are, they're doing it quickly. It just needs to get somewhere quickly, doesn't it?
It's got to next. It's got to be a case of a training properly, because that's it. She's accepting now. So
yeah. Well, she still has training to do, but anyway. No, we'll go back up north.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
Lord Karstark tells Ramsay and Roose about the dead hunters. Roose is clearly unpleased. Ramsay wants to storm Castle Black and kill Jon. Well, he's right now, I suppose. And Roose disapproves. Ramsay says they've got the Karstarks, the Mandalists, I think, and the Umbers on his side. Now, this kind of leak. I don't know whether to say this theory now or later, but I think I'll say it now and come on to it later.
Yeah,
the Umbers, House Umber, is where Bran sent Rickon and Osha. Right. I very much think we'll be seeing them again soon, potentially. Anyway, Roose tells Ramsay not to act like a wild dog or he'll be treated like one, and then the person I feel sorry for in the whole fucking world, the Maester, walks in. All happy, red-faced, cheerful for the first time in years, because Lady Walder's had a baby boy. He's just looking chuffed. He's not had good news in ages. He's looking, and then Lord Karstark gives his congratulations. He's looking chuffed. He's a baby boy, don't you know? But Ramsay is in the room.
Oh, you
see it on Ramsay's face, and then he hugs his father. Doesn't strike you as a hugger, Ramsay. And then he shanks Roose Bolton, and it's strange making us feel like the guy who killed, feel sorry for the guy who killed Robb Stark. But he got exactly what he did to Robb. He got a knife in the gut.
Yeah.
And he fell to the ground.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of different facets to this. I want to talk about first how Lord Karstark does not react to Roose getting killed at all. So this tells me that it wasn't a spur of the moment decision by Ramsay. He's planned it, and Karstark's in on it.
Definitely.
I think maybe he just told him to be here. Well, he couldn't have done because he didn't know when he was getting born. But just be here around that time. Just whatever. That just happened to be the time. I think they knew what was going to happen, because the Lord is young as well, obviously, and stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the other one got killed.
Yeah.
And then he talks to the Maester. Has to tell everyone that he's poisoning his enemies. Does he send a raven anywhere telling them that he's not poisoned his enemies? Or is he too scared?
No.
Like, does he send a letter to Castle Black?
No.
I think he might.
You do?
I think he might send one to Castle Black, and that'll instigate them sending people out to reunite the houses.
Okay.
Like I think we see Davos in House Mormont. I think he's going to send Davos out because he gets this letter. Maybe, potentially, I'm not sure. But I think that's maybe what it is. And then, obviously, that Meister's going to get it big time.
Yeah,
like, horrendously. But not horrendously as Walder and poor little no-name baby. Because he makes the Meister go and fetch them. And then, firstly, he takes the baby in his arms off Walder, which I shat my pants from just at that moment. I thought he was just going to drop it and stand on its face. But no, he does something much worse. He leads them to the kennels.
Yeah.
He systematically the control Ramsay on these dogs is quite scary. So much. I think it's interesting to note that these are his killer dogs. He didn't send those dogs after Sansa because he wasn't for killing her. He sent the finding dogs after Sansa. He didn't send these fucking hounds of destruction. He opens the gates, they don't move, and then the whistle comes, and then they attack. And Walder is a hero. She just turns her back and protects the baby, like obviously parental thing, but my God, she's an absolute ballsy lady, and now she's a ripped up to pieces lady. Quite dark, quite unsettling. Ramsay is now, as he says, Lord Bolton.
They've received
fucking hell.
They've received a lot. They've received a lot of stick in the past for scenes that involve kind of children, like the Shireen.
Yeah.
When they burnt her and you heard her screaming, and it was horrible. Like for me, that's probably the worst I've ever seen Game of Thrones. It's not to say that they can't kill children off, because that's just a part of the thing, right?
Anyone can die. You signed up for this.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they were quite smart in the fact that you don't hear anything from the baby.
Man, if you heard a baby cry, that'd be
I think that would be a step. Yeah, exactly. And I think they were very smart to do it the way they did, and it's the way he just doesn't take his eyes off them. He's watching it happen.
No, that's funny, because I think he does. Just for a split second, I think he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I
haven't gone too far.
I think there's a moment of like, am I doing what's really good? And he's like, yeah, I'm Bolton.
I don't think there's ever been a doubt in his mind of anything he's ever done.
There was just a little look of like, fuck, this is grim.
Yeah, a second guess for a split second.
Like, this is like a new level, like, and then he probably got off on it and went and had a wank over it later. The dirty little bastard. So we called it. I looked at the predictions. Me and you called Roose dying, and I was like, I can just see him doing it. How do you think Roose handled this with Ramsay? I never thought he'd consider Ramsay doing it. Like, he'd always thought like Ramsay was just subservient to him, but then did Roose fuck up? Should he have seen it coming? I don't know.
No, I don't think he would. I think Roose thought he had control over him. He thought, other than
I wouldn't even say control. I think
he
thought he had his respect.
Yeah, and he's wrong, obviously. But I think he definitely thought he never stooped to that level, but he stooped to a lot fucking worse. So there's no reason why he couldn't. But Roose just blinded by it. I think he maybe was a bit drunk on his own power with it.
I just didn't. I could see it coming. It's not like Ramsay's character at all, but it just feels like
no.
I don't know. Roose maybe shouldn't have seen it, but Roose is a massive death, the biggest of the season so far. Like
definitely, yeah.
He killed Robb Stark. It is the one of them. Oh, that's a massive death. And now, obviously, Ramsay and apparently the Umbers, the Karstarks, and the Malonys are potentially going to war with the Wildlings and the rest of the North. Is that where it's going?
Yeah.
Do you reckon this will be the season 9 battle?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be excellent.
It's good. Like I said, this is what we was talking about in our preview episode. There's so many ways this could go now. But I think this is going to be the downfall, because the Northern Lords obviously are young and they're stupid. Ramsay, whilst he's calculating, and obviously, like I said, he obviously planned this murder on Roose, I still think he's bullheaded. Roose is right. You shouldn't attack the Night's Watch, no matter what, really.
No. And they'll learn.
Especially now when they're actually got people. Like, they don't know how many people's there now. They don't know about the Wildlings. They don't know about a certain god doing the grounds. No. So,
giant. Yeah,
exactly.
They're unstoppable. That would be interesting.
You know as well, I even thought Ramsay was going to let him go. I feel like there was a split second where he might have let them go back to the Riverlands, but then she says, he's your brother. I was like, oh yeah, he is. Kill him.
I don't think. I don't know. He's just a cunt, isn't he?
Yeah, he's worse than Joffrey, like quite a distance.
Oh, he's much worse. Like Joffrey let the power go to his head, but Ramsay doesn't have any power. So, well
he does
not
now.
to the same extent. Yeah. So he's just a fucking nutcase.
Yeah.
But now he does have power, so it's gonna be even worse.
And one last thing on this, we all know how Walder Frey reacted when a wife was scorned. How does he feel like when his family name is literally eaten by the dogs? We know Walder's back in it this season. Is this how it is? Does Walder Frey become the hero and kill and lead a charge against Ramsay Snow?
Oh, that'd just be the weirdest twist ever.
Imagine. I can see it because we all know they're going to the river. We know Brienne's in the Riverlands from the trailers. We know Jamie is. We think.
Yeah.
Is Walder Frey going to reunite everyone against the North of Boltons and everyone?
That'd be a really smart move. It'd be a really smart move. Yeah, I'd be up for that. But yeah, it'd be weird.
Like, he doesn't like his name being besmirched, and it was by Rob, like innocently. Yeah. And now his heir, like, well, you know, his link to that, he's got no tie to that thing, you know, which was the thing why that was the deal, wasn't it? Like, they were in an alliance and they're not anymore, so I think it's going to all go off. Like, Littlefinger, we're still not seeing Littlefinger.
No.
Littlefinger could broker a deal between people.
Yeah,
like, I think it's going to go off.
Yeah.
You know, Riverlands and the Vale, again, just piling in to help with the Wildlands. That's, you know, Bolton's fucked from each side there, so I can see that happening.
Definitely.
Next scene, there's a short little scene. Theon and Pod are making a fire. Brienne is telling Sansa about Arya. I think Sansa is clearly scared about what happened at Winterfell. She doesn't want to talk about it. She's clearly rattled, obviously. Then I like the little line about Sansa saying no, she wouldn't be dressed as a lady. It's like nice little sweet remembrance. And then Theon is feeling depressed and guilty, obviously, and him and Sansa have another sweet scene. And then Theon says he's going home. Where is home for Theon?
It's Ironland.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think so.
No, so you think he's going there?
I think so. Well, where do you think he's going?
Well, I just think that where his home has been for all of his life, pretty much, has been Winterfell.
I know, but why would he go there alone?
Because he's like, there's nothing I could do to repay your family and all that type of stuff. Does he go back and try and kill Ramsay and end up getting fucking flayed for it? Because I think a lot of people are saying like Theon's got nowhere else to go for his character. He's like redeemed now. So does he try and do that and end up dying, being a hero?
I don't think he can go out of this show or stop being in the show without having something to do with the end of Ramsay.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So do you think he does go to Winterfell and betray him on a battle scene? Like, say he got kidnapped or something weird. I don't know how it could be. He could try and lie, but I don't know if Ramsay would buy it and stuff like that. I don't
know. I don't think. I think he will go to Winterfell when Sansa ends up in Winterfell. Because I don't think Jon Snow gonna stay at the Night's Watch.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
So I think Theon's. I mean, what we're going. I know we're going back up there to Yara and everyone. They might not be as fun to see him as she is, but I think that's where he wants to go. He wants to.
Do you think he's had enough? He wants to go fucking to his own bed to his family and just chill.
I think so. With what happens in the next scene, there might be more of a reason to. But that's the. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. I think there's more. Like, obviously, that scene, it says home and it cuts to the Iron Islands. I just think there's more. I think there could just be more to it. But anyway, we go to the Iron Islands and Pyke specifically. It's a stormy night out in the sea, and Yara is clearly smarter and calls for an end to this invasion. But Balon Greyjoy, the father and the ruler of the Iron Islands, wants to keep it going. You know, wants to. As he rightly points out, he's the surviving king in the Battle of the Four Kings. Then, they clash, and then he leaves in a huff. And he tries to cross a stormy, rickety bridge, which doesn't seem the best designed bridge on this type of place. And he's met by a hooded man. He reveals himself as his brother, and his brother is called Euron Greyjoy.
And this is the chap you were looking forward to see, wasn't it?
Very much so. This backstory, like, I think he kind of, but they sum up who he is quite well, because his gnarly backstory, as they say, is well, he was a pirate in the Jade Sea. There was a storm. He lost his mind. Was tied to the mast, and then, as reward, he cut all the tongues out, and his ship is now called the Silence, which is the bit I didn't want to tell you because it's fucking badass. I didn't know that I thought that was just like a thingy, like a condition of being his crew. You couldn't speak, but now that he did it that way, and funnily enough, they all stayed with him, which is quite weird. But anyway, and he let him do it. I don't know how he did it to one, and the others just didn't go fuck and just leave. But let's create the myth. And then what I liked about this is that Euron is he's calm and he's cold and he's scary, but he's clearly fucking mad as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like he's like Balon's fucking looking withered on that bridge, and he's just upright, not moving on this windy bridge, and he's going, "I am the storm, I am the drowned god." And then eventually he gets a slash in the face, and then he throws his brother over the bridge, which then leads to the next scene which a nice little funeral scene of him getting kelp on his face, which I found funny, and then them throwing him out to sea, and then Yara presuming that she's the new leader, but then Dampier, he's called the Dampier. This guy, the white-haired guy,
scruffy haired guy that looks like
Baldric, he's like the priest. He's like the high priest of the drowned god. He's called the Dampier because he's always damp, because he's a weirdo. And she says there's going to be a king's suit, moon suit, or something like that. And that's basically how. I don't know if you played The Witcher, but in The Witcher, like when the leader of the Skellige dies, all the clans come together to pick a new ruler. And I presume that this is what this is going to be. All the different houses on the Iron Islands are going to come together and decide who the next ruler is. And obviously, Euron Greyjoy is probably, we presume, weighing in for that. So what do you make of that scene? What were your first impressions on Euron? And what do you think is going to happen from this point forward?
I don't really know what's going to happen. I do like Euron a lot. I think it was an excellent introduction, very chilling. And you're right, he's kind of... You can quite clearly see he's like dangerous. He's a nutcase, but he's very controlled with it. Like when he's saying like "I am the drowned god brother," he's like "I am the storm brother." He's
got so many. His accent struck me a little weird because I know the actor's Danish, and I presume. I guess I expect a little bit more. I don't know if you've seen Vikings, but they have that weird accent. I expect a little bit more of that, but he sounds just like Theon did when he was Theon.
Yeah, Jaime Lannister. He's kind of got that.
Well, like
similar
him,
kind of.
Well, he's
accent.
Danish, that'd be right.
Yeah. So he's kind of, but I think I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Definitely, he's a good character.
He had a couple of great lines because, like I said, the drowned god line. I didn't catch this at first, but on the second watch, I got it. He says, "I'm the drowned god because when people see my sails, they pray. Like they pray. He makes them pray. Like he's the most godly man or ever." And then the next cool line was, "I am the storm. You're in my way." It's like, and that Balon knows he's fucked at that point. He gets a slash.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My God,
yeah. I think the whole scene and the next scene was quite good as well. I quite like the fact that we don't really know what's going to happen now with the Greyjoys, and it'll be interesting to see the dynamic if Theon returns. What's going to go down there?
Before he's high in the ring, he is the heir technically, even though
exactly. So
hair making mechanism.
So yeah, it'll be quite interesting.
But
do you know?
I think
quick
people
one.
are wondering.
I've got a fact for you in a minute as well. Well, I'll tell you now. Okay. So you know that you might know this, but you know when the what's dead may never die.
Yeah.
What that means?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
How they christen the religion.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You can say it. Go on, you say it.
Well, I heard that it was when they die when they go out to sea. The drowned god will use their body as sustenance and keep them alive in him. That's what I heard.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I think another part of it is they don't do this in the show. They just dip people's heads in the sea on the show. Like remember when Theon got christened again?
Yes.
But I think in the books, how they christen them is they actually drown them.
Ah, right.
And then they bring them back to life.
Okay.
And there's like, what is dead may never die. I think that's what I heard. But yeah, it's cool. It's one of the more interesting religions because it's that type of island life. It always interests me. Like Skellige is my favourite place in The Witcher 3 and stuff like that. It's just really cool.
But the drowned god's the only god that that's their god. He doesn't exist for anyone else as well.
Yeah,
so.
only them. Another thing I found just quite interesting really quickly, which I can't remember. God. Oh, there's a bit of a mystery. Like Yara doesn't know who's done it. And I think a lot of people are complaining that it's obviously the fucking brother who's just come back and is insane. But I think he's smarter than that. I think he's obviously sneaked off again. And I think he's going to make a grand entrance and say, I heard about brother and I came as soon as I heard.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then he's going to throw his hat in the ring to become the leader.
Yeah,
I think that's his play.
Sense.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. Man, you know, we've been going for 15 minutes and we've not even got to the main bit yet.
I know. Well,
and
let's
fuck knows how long this is going to go on for, but man, let's go. We go back to the wall. Melisandre is normal again, inverted commas. But she's clearly dishevelled, and what gets me is that she's warming herself by the fire. And the whole point of Melisandre is that she doesn't get fucking cold.
Yeah.
Like, she was in that robe going up the lift at the wall, if you remember last season.
Yeah.
So she's like, I think as her faith dwindles, like...
I think it's symbolic.
Dwindles. Yeah. Then Davos comes in and, quite hypocritically, but still, pleads with her to bring Jon back. And then she decides she doesn't have faith, she doesn't know it's becoming done, but she does mention Thoros, that's who the priest he talks about, who has this power.
Yeah.
And then I really like Davos seeing how he convinces, like, fuck them, I don't care about them, I'm asking you, the one who showed me that, like, I'm not religious or whatever, but you're like, there's clearly, like, you're onto something there, love, like, you've done some shit and I've seen it, and you can do this. And then we go to the ritual scene. She's cutting hair, she's washing hair, she's trimming beards and all whatnot. She puts it in the fire and then she starts saying words. She says, I think the words are like fire from ashes, life from death, all that type of stuff. And she like repeats it a few times, like these two stuff, something from something lines. But nothing happens for a while. Then one by one, Tormund, then Melisandre, then Ed, and then finally Davos leave. And the show's running out. Like the time that the clock is ticking. But then Ghost kind of stirs. He looks up, like at this, like, and then we get a zoom in on Jon Snow, and then he awoke. Jon Snow, the worst kept. You know, the theorists have had 5 years to come up with this, and everyone was right. Jon Snow is back.
Yes.
To life. I was watching this, so it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it happened, and I'm on my chair, and I literally swung back on my chair and just fucking, like, I punched both fists and kicked both legs. I looked like someone having a paddy attack. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
he's back.
Fucking bonkers. No. I was dead close to messaging you, but I thought, no, I need to leave it for this.
Oh, we need to leave
so
it.
I was like, really, I was just fucking chuffed. I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. Really, you know.
But I will say though, they did it really well, and they had me thinking he's not coming back. Like they did it so well. I was only certain he was coming back when they stayed and did a close up on Ghost.
Yes.
Like when that happened, I was like, right, he's back.
Yeah.
But when they were doing it, I was like, are they gonna fake it out and just not for him? Just he's not gonna come back? Like that'd be brilliant if they did that. That would fuck over so many people. It'd just be amazing. But
it would,
honestly,
it?
Like everyone says, all the theories were right. It makes sense just for Jon. He has to be back, and he is. 7 holes in his chest and a wolf by his side.
And it means so much to the series now. Now that he's actually there, it means so much to everything.
About what I think that can happen. It's mad. But like, I think they did it well as well in a way that keeps all the theories of how he's still alive going. Like, was it just the ritual, or did he walk into Ghost and stuff like that? Like, there could be so many ways of what's happened. I think they did it really, really well. Now, is Melisandre back with her god again now? Is she all faithed back up? Is she like, fuck it, and having all the visions and burnt? Does she go back to full on witch mode?
So, do you think that by doing this, she believes it is her god that's doing this?
Yeah, her faith's restored.
Or does she believe that it's her and she's going to have more self-belief in her own abilities? And
that's interesting. And
not look to the Lord of Light? Because if you think with Stannis, she thought the Lord of Light was telling her that was wrong. You know, he wasn't the savior. You know, but she's gone away and she's been depressed. She thinks she's failed. She thinks everything that she's been told is a lie.
Yeah.
And then Davos tells her, just fucking believe in yourself. You know, do it. You know, and then she goes do it, and she'll realize that she's brought him back with her own abilities.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I think it'll be good to see how she progresses now alone. Maybe she doesn't look too much to the Lord of Light, and maybe I don't know.
That's really interesting. That's a good point. Like, you know, she did this herself. She didn't think she had any help from the Lord. does she then think, oh, I'm this cool witch, I can do this? But to me, I think it just restores her faith, like restores everything about her. I think she'll be back to what she was, and I think
definitely
she'll have more visions in the fire. She'll be a red priestess again. She'll believe the Lord. She'll pray for forgiveness and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think,
and then she'll see visions in the fires again, and then we'll see what happens. Is John back completely? We know that John, Beric Dondarrion, who was brought back to life, said that he felt like a bit of him was missing after each time, but then he was pretty much the same guy. But I think stuff like he couldn't remember his wife's name or his mum's name and stuff like that. Is John back completely? And this is only his first resurrection, so is he just the normal, slightly thinner John?
I think he'll be the same
holes
John
in his chest.
I think he'll be the same John we know. I think in terms of he'll know who everyone is. He'll remember everything, but maybe a part of his kind of humility will be gone. We're not. I know he's killed people.
Hardened.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I mean, he has killed people in before for not listening to and not following him. You know. But I think he will. Yeah, it'll be a lot harder, and he won't be as trusting. He'll lose a lot of trust for people. I think it would definitely be interesting. But I don't think he'll have changed massively. But yeah, he'll be a lot kind of harder, and he'll be more of a leader, more of a man as opposed to a boy.
Well, that's what he says.
Yeah.
Do you think he goes and kills Thorn and Ollie and all of them?
Now, I think he will kill Thorn.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll kill Ollie, so unfortunately,
we can't have the hero killing a child, can we?
No, I think Alyssa will die. I think he's got to, and rightly so.
How does this change for Davos? How does this change things for Davos, Tormund, the Night's Watch? Do Sansa and Brienne are they still going there? Are they going to find a resurrected Jon Snow? Ramsay, how does this change everything on the North now that he's back? Because to be fair, it doesn't really change anything for Ramsay and Thingy because they still think. Well, so what they think is now the truth, but how does this change for stuff like Ed, Davos, Tormund, the Night's Watch in general? What happens?
So the kind of Jon Snow knows, and Tormund and Ed, they know about the White Walkers. They know what the great threat is in the whole of this. Sansa doesn't know what Jon's seen. You know, that obviously Sansa's mind is on Ramsay and that side of it, and kind of taking back her heritage, whereas Jon knows greater, so there's a good chance that she'll go up there and they'll fight off Ramsay, and then they'll focus on greater things. There's a good chance that the Ramsay and everyone will get there, then there'll be the greater threat. I don't think they'll ever unite because I can't see Ramsay ever. I can't see Ramsay kind of joining forces with anybody. But
he's a wild dog.
Pardon? Yeah, exactly. So I think the main thing will be the White Walkers are much bigger than anything else anyone else has got going on. That is the main threat, and that's why Davos tries to unite everyone, because they're all going to fucking die at the hands of the White Walkers. There's no escaping that. John knows what he saw. It was horrific, and they need bodies because it'll be a bloodbath otherwise. Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode. We end on the close up of Jon's first breath. Great episode. Just sublime, back to its best.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless there's anything else you want to say specifically on that Jon Snow scene or anything else in the episode in general, we can move on to what we think will happen next time. I think brilliant, and I really look forward to where it's going to go from here. I think loads of options.
Yeah, I think
still characters we've not seen. You have to play a part, and it's all looking good.
I loved it, and I'm glad there was no Daenerys in this episode
mate. High five, mate. It's so much better when she's not in it, isn't it? It just is.
Yeah,
the scenes last week were good. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah. And it's quite clear that it's her as well, because we've been in Marine in this episode, and it was fine. You know, she's just, but maybe she gets better, I don't know. But on the whole, perfect, really good episode. A few little niggles, but no one's ever going to be happy with anything, so.
It was a 10 for me, like, even 10
definitely.
Is the best, like, just because it isn't, fucking perfect, doesn't mean it's not a 10.
Yeah, exactly. 10. Yeah, definitely. I think
it was brilliant for me. I thought everything was just well paced. I don't think. Maybe that one Arya scene was a bit, but understandably so. I thought nothing was rushed. I thought they took the time and they did things understandably.
Yeah,
it's all really good. Like, they took nearly 15 minutes on the whole Ramsay stuff, like, and then everything is just really, really good. Anyway, next time on Game of Thrones. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Like the end of us talking about Home, episode 2. And we're now going to talk about episode 3, what we've seen in the preview, the 30-second preview clip, and all that jazz, all our theories of what we think's going to happen. So if you don't want to know what's coming on the next thing, tune out now. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you soon. But otherwise, full steam ahead. Now, I'm just going to rattle through what's happened and then we'll discuss, yeah? So have you seen it? I should have asked.
Yes. Yeah. No, don't worry. I'm prepared this time.
So, in the 30-second clip of Next Time On, we see John rising from the table, and then we still got a muscly back, ladies, don't worry. And then there's obviously a camera view there's a shot of, like, from his perspective of all the wildlings and Night's Watch people looking fucking amazed at him walking, and presumably with holes in his chest still. Then we hear Tormund say, "They see you as a god," which I think we all know where that's leading with Azor Ahai and etc. and Middlesandra. It's a perfect storm. Then we have Arya still blind. She's fighting the waif inside the temple. I made a note of that because Jack had said he'd give her back her eyes, but she's blind. She's definitely got white eyes still in this fight, so maybe he gives it back, but then takes them away again for a fight into train her or something like that. I don't know, but because he only says tonight, doesn't he? It might just be a nightly thing, but she's blind again. Do you think there'll just be another training scene, just see Arya fight quick and then nothing?
I think there'll be a bit more this time around. I think.
Would you think we'll get that? This is your third chance. This is your
definitely
second chance line.
Yeah, I think we'll. I think there'll be more than just a fight. There'll be some kind of reason for it, and we'll see where it's going, or we'll see where it's heading. That kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be another fight and then that's it.
Something I actually forgot to say about the episode in whole is that we've seen nearly everything from the trailers already. Especially all the big moments. The only things we've not seen is the Wildlings and the Boltons going to battle, Walder Frey, that scene, which we'll see next episode, and a couple of other little bits. We've seen nearly everything already. It's like really, they're moving at a fair old pace.
Yeah.
Anyway, we see, this is what I was alluding to earlier. We see Umber banners very conspicuously in this shot. We see horses with Umber banners, and then it cuts to someone telling Ramsay, "I've got a gift for you." Now, it might be a clever trick from the preview, because I always thought Umbers were the most Stark loyalists.
Yeah.
But if the great John Umber's been killed, and they've only got the kids in charge now, and they hate the Starks, I think they very much could have Rickon and Usher given to Ramsay, which means Ramsay's got a Stark in Winterfell.
Yeah.
Does he kill the Stark? Another child death to his tally? Does he think it? Or is it a play? Is it not the Umbers? Do they have Theon? Or is it just not the Umbers at all? So what do you think's happening here? Who do you think this gift is? Because my theory is that it's Rickon
Stark.
with Usher.
I think so too. I think it's got to be on it. And
what do you think he does with it? Keep it locked to the tower because it's a Stark?
Bargaining chip.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be some threat. He'll use it as a threat. Use them as a threat.
Now, this is what else I think will happen with Ramsay and stuff. I think the reason they fight the Wildlings and stuff is because Jon Snow gets told everything. Sansa gets to the wall, tells Jon Snow everything that's happened about Ramsay. Jon Snow is a hardened guy. He's just come back from death. He's not very happy with Ramsay Snow. The Battle of the Snows. I think that could happen. I think that's what be. I think Jon's going to try and deliberately go. I think he'll march to all. The interesting thing is with Jon now, the Night's Watch vows say till death. He's served his vows. He doesn't have to be a Night's Watchman anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll leave. I don't think because obviously the White Walkers, like you say, that they're the most important things. I don't think he'll leave the wall, but I don't think he has to be upholded to any rules. I think he can go and do exactly what he wants to, from family reasons.
Yeah, no, there's a good chance, definitely.
So, that's what I think will happen there. Then we see Dany and Vestofrak entering it. I think it's weird that they got there so soon, considering it took half of season 1 to get there. Thinking, but fast fine. Just we skipped. She's not been in an episode. That's when they were traveling. That's fine. It looks like this is a scene where Drogon flies over in the trailer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think we'll see.
Maybe that'll be the rescue mission. But then we also see Dany in the trailer in the castle with the widows. So maybe Drogon just flies over. She sees him. She looks longingly, and that's all we get.
Maybe.
Yeah. Then we get Cersei talking to. I think she's talking to Qyburn.
Yeah.
And Jaime and Rob Strong are present. She says someone's trying to make our losses their gains. So who do you think that is? What do you think that's alluding to?
I don't know. I've not got any theories. Do you have anyone? Do you think it might be?
Maybe The only thing you can think of is maybe they get a message from Dawn and say the only thing they've lost,
Possibly.
or maybe something to do with money because of the Iron Bank stuff or something.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe I can't. Maybe Mace Tyrell's back and telling them something. Maybe I don't know where that goes, but it's obviously something.
Yeah.
And then finally, the Tower of Joy. We see a young Ned Stark even, and his 8, which include Highland Reed. Remember that name?
Yeah.
Against the 3 Kingsguard that are defending the tower: Sir Arthur Dane, Sir Oswell Went, and Sir Gerald Hightower. We get. I'm pretty sure it's Sir Arthur Dane talking to Ned, who says, "Now it begins," and the famous line, "Now it ends." I think this is how the episode ends with this scene.
Yeah.
Because it's going to confirm Mr. Jon Snow's parentage.
Yeah.
But another interesting theory is that actually, you know how they're saying that Mira Reed needs to help Bran?
Yes.
The theory is that Lyanna Stark actually had 2 children. They were twins, separated at birth. One went to Howland Reed, the only other survivor of the battle. So Mira Reed. And the other went to Ned Stark, Jon Snow. She has black curly hair, where her brother had ginger hair. And she's still alive, and she needs to help Bran to understand, or to help him. Does Bran see this vision and then get it? Mira Reed? Or am I stretching?
No,
but I like the sound of that a lot.
I don't think it's stretching. I can see that happening, yeah.
That's maybe why Georgian was the green seer and could see that they need to be together.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be ace.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's not going to even just be, R plus L equals J. It's going to be R plus L equals J and M squared, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's really exciting because that
just
gives another layer to a character who's who's up there with Bran, who's the only one we really care about. It gives another character a bit more reason, and obviously if they go back down to the wall where Jon is, brother and sister reunion, twin sister brother reunion.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it makes sense to separate them at birth because they wanted to protect them from Robb because they're just children.
Yeah.
I think that's everything's pointing to that. I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to get the Jon Snow thing confirmed.
Yeah.
But I think this might even happen too. It's like,
well, it's moving at a fast pace, so it could do.
It is, and wow, I can't wait. Like we're seeing the Tower of Joy. It's like almost like they're going to the almost iconic scenes like from the lore of the thing, especially. It's just so good. I think the actor they got for Ned is quite good actually.
He looks.
I think it's a little. Maybe it struck me as a little young, but the accent nailed, the hair, everything nailed. So yeah. So anything else you think's gonna happen in this episode? I think we're in for another Star Wars next year.
I think so. Sunday, yeah, I think we're gonna get a packed episode. A lot on Jon and a lot. I think you're right. A parentage. I think we've got to find out. I think we're starting obviously with Jon walking through the thing, waking up, and then I think we're ending with the Tower of Joy and finding out the theory that people have been fucking theorising for years. I don't know if book readers are annoyed or like happy they're finally getting answers, but they've waited for years for these answers and they're getting them. I know. It's maddening, but yeah, I can't wait. I think and the episode actually called Oathbreaker, which is opposite of what Brienne's sword is called. So yeah, do they get to fucking Winterfell? What happens? God knows. We'll have to tune in next week.
Suppose you will. And another thing you have to tune into next week is Geek of Thrones, because we'll be here every week talking about Game of Thrones, and we're going on for an hour and 10 minutes here, Chris. We've been chatting, and I think I could chat for an hour more just on everything. Yeah. It was a cracking episode. Can't wait for next week. I presume that's all we've got to say, so it's time to wrap it up, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Yeah. So this is Geek of Thrones, the podcast for God is a Geek. If you go to godisageek.com for loads of writing on games and whatnot, youtube.com/God is a Geek for loads of videos and games and whatnot, Facebook at God is a Geek, and Twitter at God is a Geek for all updates and good content and stuff. And of course, you can follow us individually. You can follow Chris on Twitter at First Avenger 83.
There we go. Yeah,
you've got too many usernames, man. You need to get brand synergy. Whereas me, I'm nearly everything. I'm at Mabroski. Give us a follow, and I think there's nothing else to do but say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, everybody.
It's goodbye from me. C'est la vie.
Oh.